Hi there, my name's Andy Hillier and today I'm going to teach you how to play my fingerstyle arrangement of When a Man Loves a Woman, the Percy Sledge song, but mine's kind of based on the Michael Bolton version, which is awesome. I'm going to teach you the whole song all the way through. I'm not going to play it through. I've done a cover version, so if you want to hear what it sounds like, my version, go and check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. I'll put a card above as well, and then you can hear what it sounds all the way through. Today, I'm going to take you through the whole song. It's really long, it's 3 pages long, so it's going to be quite a long video, but good luck if you can get all the way through it. Just before I do start, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, which is Andy Hillier, give me a like on the video, it really helps, and leaving comments as well. Please let me know what you think of the video, what songs I should do next, and if you love what I'm doing and you want to support me and you want to print the tabs off for this, I'll put them on my Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description. My guitar is in standard tuning. Now when I arrange the song, I've moved it all down a semitone. So if you wanted to play along to the song, you just put a capo on the first fret and just move everything up 1 fret. But I've just done it in like standard tuning, moved everything down a semitone from the Michael Bolton version. Okay, so the first line goes like this. So to play that, A3, open D, and then you're going to play A3 and D2 at the same time. So you go. And if you want to, you can do a little hammer on using your second finger onto the D2, or you could just play it. But I like to do a little hammer on. All the X's in this song are just slaps against the strings. So you just hit against, so you've got. And then we've got the G string. I'm going to hammer onto G2 really quickly, and then play A2 and G. Another slap. 2 slides in to fret 5 on the B string. Just quick little slides, either from fret 3 or fret 4, it's fine. Either work. So from the beginning you've got. And then we're going to play an A minor chord, which is the open A, your first finger on B1, second finger D2, third finger on G2, middle 4 strings, that's A minor, percussive hit, then an open A, E3. So let's go up to there, we've got. And then we get, which is first finger flat across the 8th fret of the E and the B strings. And you slap on your third finger, hammer it onto fret 10 of the B string. And then back to the 8s, so it goes. A percussive hit. And then we're going to play B3, hammer on to B5, pull off to B3, pull off to B1, and then G2. So you get. So the whole line. And then on to the next line, and we've got this. So we play E1 and B1 at the same time. Percussive hit, G2, and then then E1. So the first bar you go. And then we've got E3 and G2 at the same time. And then open G, percussive hit, A3, and then a D string. So the first 2 bars of that line you've got. And then into bar 8 we're going to go a little hammer on from open D to D2, and at the same time play A3. So you get, and then A3 and G2, open E, E1, E1, and then into the next bar, E3 with the open G string. And winner is E5 twice. So the whole line slowly, you get. On to the next line. This is where kind of the verses. The first line of it, we've got. So we're going to play E5 nearest to the floor and A3. I'm using my little finger. Then I put my second finger on E3 and I'm going to pull off. So E5 pulling off to E3. If you struggle to pull off, you could just play the E5 and then the E3. Percussive hit, E3, pull off to open E. Then you play E3 with A2 at the same time. Then E5, and then a percussive hit. So the first two bars you've got. And then the next two bars you've got. Which is that A minor chord that we played before, open A with D2, G2 and B1. Percussive hit, B5, a little slide into it, and then another B5, B3, B3 with E3 nearest to your face, then B1, B1, G2, B1, a little hammer on from G to G2. So you get bars 12 and 13 you got. On to the next line. So the first two bars there. E1, percussive hit, open E, B3, then E3 with B1, and hammer onto B3 at the same time. Percussive hit, then two Gs, hammering onto G2, and then a B1. So we've got. Then we're going to play a C chord, which is your first finger B1, second finger on D2, third finger A3. Play the middle four strings, percussive hit. Then we've got an F over G chord, which is your first finger on B1, second finger G2, third finger, actually your third finger is going to go up to the top on E3 and your little finger is going to go on D3. And then just to finish it off we go, which is E3 with E5 nearest to the floor, then open A with E5, then A3 with E5. So the whole line slowly goes. On to the next line, we've got. So for that, E5, A3 at the same time, then E3, percussive hit, E3, pulling off to E, E3 with A2 in the bass, then E5 and percussive hit. So we've got. And then we're playing A minor chord again, percussive hit, B5, B3, a B3 with E3 in the bass, then B1, G2, B3, B1, and then G2. So that bar you got. So the whole line slowly got. On On to the next line and the second page, if you've printed this off from my Patreon page. We've got so we've got E1, open E, B3 twice, B1 twice. So we've got, and then E3 with B1, and then a B3. So you got percussive hit, and then 3 hits on the open G string, and then hammer onto G2, and then A3 with B1, and then another B1, percussive hit, E, and then E1, and then this F over G, which we had before, E3, then open A with E3 nearest to the floor, and then A3 with E5 nearest to the floor as well. So the whole line you've got on to the next line. So E5 with A3 at the same time, then E3, percussive hit, E3 pulling off to the open E, and then we've got A2 with B3 and E3 this time, just has an extra little harmony note in there, then E5, percussive hit, then an open E. So the first 2 bars you've got and an A minor chord, percussive hit, and then open E, B3, B3, pull off to B1, or you could just play B1, and then B1 with E3, and then another B1, G2, pulling off to G, and then there's an open E at the end of the line. So the whole line you've got and then on to the next line we've got which is E1, then open E, B3 pulling off to B1, then B3 with the low E3 in the bass. You've got percussive hit, open G, G2, B1 with A3, and another B1, percussive hit, E, E1, F over G, and then E3 with E5 nearest to the floor, open A with E5, and A3 with E5 as well. So the whole line. On to the next line, we're getting through it. So A3 with E5, then E3, percussive hit, open E, A2 with B3 and E3, then E5, percussive hit, A minor chord, and then a little slide from E1 to E3, 2 E1s, then 2 E's, but play an E3 on the first one, and then B3, then B1. So the whole line goes. On to the next line we've got. So you've got an F chord, first finger barred across all strings on the first fret, second finger G2, little finger on D3, play those. Then it goes open E, B3, 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 then E3 with G2 and B1, and hammer onto B3 with a little finger. So it goes percussive hit, G, G2, a C chord, which we played before, and then another B1, percussive hit, and then in bar 41 we're going to go, which is a C7 chord, first finger B1, second finger D2, third finger A3. So same as a C chord, but add your little finger onto G3. Middle four strings, just hit it 6 times. So the whole line you've got on to the next line, and we've got so that's the first 4 bars of that. Starts with the F chord, percussive hit, then 2 E1s, and then I'm slowing up to E5 and G5 at the same time, and I do that twice, so it goes percussive hit, and then just the G5, so you've got and then A3 with open G, B1 and open E, then E3, percussive hit, little E3, and then to a C7 chord, and you can do 6 of those. So the first 4 bars of that line you've got. Into the next bar, 46, we're going to do that F chord again, percussive hit, E1, so we've got, and then play E5 and G5 at the same time, and then do that again, and then go to E6 with G5, and then back to E5 with the G5, so it goes, and then you're going to play, which is A3 with E5, and then jump straight to an E3. I'm just barring my first finger to get that. Percussive hit, E3, and then 6 of this C7 again. So bars 46, 47, 48 and 49 go. On to the next line, and we've got this. So F chord, percussive hit, 2 E1s, E5 with G5, then just an E5 on its own, percussive hit, open E, and then into the next bar we've got E3 with B1, open G and A3, then it goes down to E3 with B3, open G and A2, then up to an E5, so he gets, so that's that bar, then open A with the open E string, then nice and quickly we play B3 and B1, percussive hit, and then A2 and then A3. So the first 4 bars of that line you've got. And then into this next section we've got so to play that, we're going to play E5 with B7 and G7 and the open D string. and then play the same but without the open D string. Percussive hit, and then add a finger onto E8 and play the open D with the G7, B7 and E8. Then go back to the E5 and with the B7 and G7. So it goes. So bar 54 goes, and then into the next bar, bar 55, we're going to play the E8 with the B7 and G7 and D string. Then an E7 on its own. Then E7, B7 and G7 at the same time. Then E5. So it goes. Then into the next bar, E3 with E5. And then E3. So it's F over G 3 times. Then we hit this G triad, which is E3 barred across, because you can play the B3 at the same time, with G4 and D5. Then 2 E5s at the end. So from bar 54 onwards, we've got on to the next line, and this is basically a copy of what we played near the beginning. So we've got so we've already played that line. It's the same as the third line, and this next line is the same as the fourth line. So we've got so we've played those lines before, so they should hopefully make sense. And then the last line, we've got so E5 with A3, then E3, percussive hit, E3 pulling off to the open E, then A2 with B3 and E3, hit an E5, percussive hit, A minor, percussive hit, and then from this point onwards we just slow down. So B5, B3, B3 with E3, and then B1, G2, B3, B1, G2. And we hit this F chord, then another 3 Fs, F over G, and then open G, G2, B1, and then a C chord. And you just like, from the bar 68, just slow it down and play it at your own speed. So something like this, we go. You can just play around with the C chord at the end. And that's the whole song. Well done if you managed to get all the way through that. It's quite a lot to get through. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, it really does help me out, as does giving me a like on the video, and the more comments the better. Let me know where in the world you're from, what you thought of the video, what songs I should do next. And if you love what I'm doing, you want to support me, keep me doing this channel, and you want to print the tabs off of this and loads of other songs, I'll put it on my Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description. Well, thanks for watching this. I've been Andy Hillier, and I'll see you next time.